welcome to another edition of RealConvo. I'm Miranda Khan alongside my co-host Alan Mednick, and you've been working out lately? You look good.
This is going to be a very energetic, very energetic.
Ooh, look at that. Let's just get right to it on that note. So people are wondering, who are these strange hands coming from? Joining us now is Andy Sziraki. He is a fitness expert, if you will, and we're just pumped up. Pumped up.
Let's go.
To have you here.
I don't know if
today.
these walls could contain him today.
I
was really worried about the table here.
Yeah?
Yeah, because we were talking before and he was bouncing all over the wall. So I was like, this table's going to be gone in a couple seconds.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's still early on in the show.
Yeah.
But honestly, we do. Both of us love to work out.
Yeah.
We're fitness buffs. Clearly, you're a fitness buff. But we are a mental health show. And one of the reasons why I love working out is not just, for the physical, aspects of it, but it's also mentally. I feel like it helps me focus. It helps me keep my spirits up, my energy up. Maybe I need to do more of that looking at you. And
I hope you don't get lucky.
And it keeps me, I have to work on it. But
East Germany.
East Germany, yes. That's probably the worst East Germany accent ever. I'm going to work on it. But mentally, I feel like it just helps me stay more focused, and lessen my anxiety, And we're so glad to have you here.
Yeah.
So for people right now, especially that are dealing with this pandemic, I know anxiety, depression, everything has been heightened. They could really use this. I mean, you don't have to be fitness guru to do this.
No, one of the things we talk about a lot with the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is we want to treat above the neck the same way we treat below the neck. So basically you want your mental capacity to be the same as what we do for our physical. However, in saying that, we have to have our physical, we have to have the exercise, you have to be in shape for your brain to really function properly and to have your mental acuity. Yeah. So that's why exercise, nutrition, everything else we do is so important to your brain function and to everything that we do every day.
Yeah.
So tell us, first of all, let's get a little bit about your background. Obviously, you're in incredible shape.
So round is a shape too, so don't confuse it.
Yeah. Andy, tell us how you got in shape. Sziraki.
Probably since I was a little kid, I've obviously very hyper, but always played sports. Always found that exciting, and I love that group atmosphere, the camaraderie of sport, everything like that. Getting into school, that back in the day, I know we'll touch on it later, but the Presidential Physical Fitness Award, love that. That was a goal of mine every year. I didn't want to be embarrassed, and I was embarrassed. I remember the first year I ever did that, a girl beat me, and I was like, I'm coming back. This is third grade this year. I'm coming back. I'm getting that blue patch. So
you were going back a little bit. So, okay, so you were always kind of interested in sports, and I feel like there's another story there. You said that girls can beat guys up.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
So I was a skinny little twig, man. It's body types. There's ectomorphs, mesomorphs, endomorphs. That's a lot of kinesiology.
That's
but
a lot of
ectomorphs
morphs.
are but you morph, so very tendency to be skinny. So I was a scrawny little kid, right?
Were you picked on? I mean, what was
I think
your
everybody in
inkling?
school's picked on. Everybody in school, and we'll get to more training when we get to like high school and things like that, when people's hormones are really going crazy. But I remember it was like in second grade, and some girl could do more pull-ups than me, and I was like, oh hell no, like there's no way. So I saw her get that blue patch, I got a red patch. I'm like, I don't want that thing anymore. So it was like that kind of failure. I was like, some people either fold or they rise. So I was like, I wanted to get that blue patch. Got it all through the years there, but it was like, yeah, girls, be alpha, work out, be strong. We love alpha chicks, right? And then fast forward playing sports, and then getting to like high school, very undersized. Like I graduated high school at 17, so I was like a year behind physically. Probably 120 pounds and just getting tossed around like a rag doll in football. So don't talk about getting picked on. Yeah.
And you played football.
Yeah, absolutely. Played football. I was 120 pounds in my freshman year.
Wow.
And somebody literally told me, goes, dude, if you don't get in that weight room, this is not going to end. And I literally was like, like very concerned about my actual physical health at that point. So fell in love with training every day after school. I wasn't even like worried about school. I was just worried about the gym afterwards. I wanted to go in there and I wanted to train and train and train.
Physical fitness, working out is an addiction.
Yeah.
It really
Absolutely.
is.
Like anything else. It forms a habit, and your body finds a pathway. And you talk about like any drug, anything like that, your body loves dopamine, serotonin, and it gets it that high. So whatever you choose carefully because it becomes habitual. So choose and make healthy habits, make choices like that. So I created that pathway to that dopamine release every day after school. And you look back on it now, I didn't know I was doing drugs. I didn't know for working out just felt great. But now we've studied the brain, we know that chemical response is a natural high, and your body's like, give me more of that.
So basically,
you're clearly getting a lot.
Yeah, you get a lot. But
this is calm. I'm like a 4, like a 4 or 5
4?
right now.
Oh my goodness.
We can amp it up.
So basically, I mean, working out and exercise can have the same effect as, people that, and we don't want to emphasize this, but doing drugs.
It's the same.
But you could replace exercise with.
So what do drugs do? They stimulate pituitary to release dopamine. To release dopamine into your brain, floods your brain with that good feeling, everything like that. That's every drug. Some of them take longer, some of them kick in fast and crash you hard. But anything you do, like we talked about music, we talked about fitness, all the things we had before this epidemic of drugs was what we used, what we loved. People were passionate about music and going there. You see those people that used to close their eyes and just go like this, and they're getting high from the music. We need to get back to that, and through fitness.
So
and it's great for
Have you worked out with anybody that was on drugs and
oh my
got
God,
off
absolutely.
Of it?
Yeah. And you'd see like early in my career, I'd be like, yeah, you changed my life, you saved my life. I'm like, it's kind of cliche. I'm like, no, dude, look at me in the eye. This was the path I was on. And I've done that for a lot of people. I never really realized how much it could really affect other people because I came from the fitness background, but coming from I took the unnatural high background and found a way to get my natural high, changed lives, changed careers, changed marriages, and seeing these people blossom today just through fitness. The thing I've been doing and loving my whole life. This is the answer to this kind of clarity and this kind of success in life.
Why do you think that is? Because I, unfortunately, wasn't much of an athlete at all. That's putting it mildly. I wasn't an athlete at all, period. I was the last one to get picked on the team when I was like growing up. But truth of the matter was mainly because my family was relatively poor, so they couldn't afford to put me in sports. And I didn't start working out until like way after high school. And I remember just being so nervous, like embarrassed. I'm being honest, too embarrassed to go to the gym. I was afraid, like, well, I don't want to look like an idiot, when I don't know how to do this. I'm so glad that I got over that fear. So what I started doing was just like little tiny exercises at home, like, because I didn't want to go out. I was like, but for those of you, I'm telling you this because stick with it. Because I noticed what you're talking about, that dopamine, that it gave me more energy, made me more like focused.
But it's not only that, it creates a lot. So when I worked out, and I never worked out. I'm not working out the way I am. I did 20 years ago, but it was
the man is still doing push-ups on his knuckles.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Ooh,
so, but
aloe vera on there.
But anyway,
All right, Rocky, I see you.
But I used to work out 6 days a week, 2 hours a day, and the rush that I got from that, not only the addiction, but my work performance improved greatly. My confidence improved greatly. The way I walked, walking down the street, going into places. So it really improves. And I mean, what is it that does that?
So check this out. I'm going to give a plug here to a book called Spark. The doctor's name evaded me on the way here. I had it before we started getting all amped up. But the book is called Spark, and it's the first study done on the brain and exercise. Let me have a minute here. The brain and exercise. You know what they found? People that worked out before their school day, kids to adults to professionals, before their school day, work day, life started. They just got out of bed and said, I'm going to take care of me so I can take care of everything else. What happened? Okay? You get the release. It's called the dose. You get dopamine, oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. That floods your brain. It equalizes all your hormones. So people like myself with ADHD, people with anxiety, people with depression, people that are getting bullied, picked on, even the bullies, right? It's because something's off. They're not feeling who they are. They need to pick on other people. They're off. You ever like have a morning where your morning routine gets caught up and you don't finish it, and you're angry and you like snap at people for no reason. It just kind of happens. You're off balance. It's because you didn't get that release. So everybody worked out before work, before school, and grades went up, productivity went up, attendance went up, bullying went down, anxiety went down, depression went down, test scores went up. Why? Everybody was in equilibrium just from exercise. Look at all the things we just solved. When I said this changes and makes you successful, it does. But you got to get that dose. You got to get your hit of fitness first thing in the morning, and then you focus on everything else you got to do in the day.
I have to ask you because you brought up ADHD, and I want to make sure before we don't forget.
Because nobody has that here.
Nobody has that here at all.
Nobody has it.
Because we only have a minute or so left in this block, but I have to ask you, has this helped your ADHD?
100%.
Yeah.
And like I said, if I miss that opportunity, I'm scatterbrained the whole day. I'm starting 7 things and finishing nothing. But if I do that first thing in the morning, I take care of me. All I can focus on is I can compartmentalize, and I've been off Ritalin since high school. And I can compartmentalize. I can get every little thing done. But if I miss that, I'm like here, and here, and I look at the end of the day, and I'm like, really nothing got done.
When did they come off the Ritalin? When you started working out?
High school.
Was it because of working out?
Oh my God, because Ritalin is just like cocaine. It's like you can't eat. Like it makes you inside, like couldn't eat, sleep, anything like that. Discovered this later. I'm like, that was a drug prescribed to everybody, and you can't gain weight as an athlete if you're not eating. So it killed my appetite. I was not growing, and I'm like, I'm off that. Started training and everything like that, and I put on weight, and I was able to sleep at night and everything. Because for most people, it's a stimulant, and for other people, it just makes them a zombie.
And we're going to talk more about the sleeping part of it too.
Really and I want to talk more about that because, as Alan mentioned, he also has
pharmaceuticals. Get in the gym.
He has ADHD. We're not clearly saying don't take your medicine. We're going to talk more about this coming up after the break. We're also going to talk about 5 exercises that you can do at home without weights. We'll be right back. And welcome back to RealConvo. Again, I'm Miranda Khan alongside Alan Mednick, and we're here with fitness expert Andy Sziraki. And I don't know about you, but I'm already pumped up, and I'm not even working out. But
do it. Come on,
please
now to pump you up. And you put the cookie down now. I got you. I see you.
So
I'm speechless. It's awesome.
So one of the things we always talk about too is you don't always have to have weights. You don't have to go to the gym to work out. When there was a shutdown, you could still do things at home.
Right.
You have something you did that was a 5
different movements.
Right.
Okay. Guys, check this out. It's real easy. Your body's a machine. Okay, it's made up of muscles. These are little engines all over your body, and it only does a few certain things. Okay, everybody wants a new exercise every day. The body isn't new. The body moves in certain ways. Guess what? It pushes all these directions. It pushes multiple directions. It pulls in multiple directions. It squats, level changes, and it rotates. That's all the body does. So you take your body, push up, either floor, countertop, chair, pull. If you've got a suspension trainer, you can do that, or a pull-up or anything, or take a backpack and row. You take your squats, again, with body weight if you're there, split it to a lunge to double the weight on a single leg, or take a backpack, then you got some weights, and then rotate. Take that thing and go like this to get your spinal rotations. That's it. Throw in a balance component, you're good.
See, I always thought that.
And repeat. You don't just do it one time, like golf. 18 times. Let's go.
I always thought body weight was the best weight you could use for working out. I always thought, matter of fact, I remember when I was a kid too, I used to have the countertops in the kitchen. Every time I walked by, I used to do dips.
I
used to do dips all the time.
Dude, you and I both, man.
All the time.
Oh
so,
my God.
listen, when...
She's like, oh, the bromance is starting.
When COVID started, Miranda and I wanted to show everybody that your mental health, you had to work out to get your mental health, you had to be outside. Right. So we actually put a little video together. We're going to get a little comment on it. We're going to see it now. Okay?
All right.
You can comment on it.
Okay.
All right, let's take a look.
I'll be nice.
That's actually my son.
Battle ropes. Dude, that's awesome. Look at that.
You like the cowboy hat?
Love the cowboy hat. Really says, dude, look at you, man. You got the Donkey Kong ball.
Now, this is the best.
Okay, here we go. Look at that. Look at that. That is awesome. Wow. I wouldn't do that with our weight, but yes.
No,
yes.
That's the one thing I kept.
Go to your building code and find out what weight that is.
Yeah, so I love Miranda doing those. When I saw that on Facebook, I was like, that is incredible. But there are going to be a lot of people out there, getting repairs done on their doors. And
I did that once.
It off.
I did that once.
Did you
I'm
do
not gonna
it?
lie. There is a weight limit you can do on that. But for only the price of about $19, you get one of those door frame hook pull-up things. $19, and they work. I've had on it before. I've had multiple guys bigger than me on there. Those are great. The door thing, so cool though. So cool.
But I picked it up from a man.
Yeah,
awesome. That obviously weighed more than me.
We should swing the door back and forth, see if you stay on.
We actually have a pull-up bar here. We're gonna have to do pull-ups after this.
Do we have to?
No, we don't have to.
We have to.
We have to.
We have to.
But
You do.
But the point of this whole thing is that you could do anything to work out.
Yeah. And guys, check this out. This is the biggest misconception, that you need a gym, all these other things. Let me tell you something. The people that get in the best shape, the most shape, and are the most pain-free are the people that are always moving around, doing functional movements like the push, pull, level change, rotation, balance, everything like that. I'll tell you why. When I walk into a big box gym, I haven't been in one in 10 years, but I see the pictures, won't name names, but what do you see in there? There's equipment everywhere. What does every piece of equipment have? It's a chair with a back pad. You're sitting down. You sit down enough. We're meant to be active-bodied people. Sitting down is the last thing you want to do at a gym, but every machine has a butt pad and a backrest.
Well,
what does that do for your core? You sit down, you tighten your hip flexors, you tighten your hamstrings, and you relax your core. So you have a weak core, you have a tight hips, tight hamstrings, and now you have a
So what are you saying, like one of those big balls, or like
anything? Just stay off machines. Stay off machines.
But what about for people that aren't, and I'm sorry to interrupt, I know, Alan, you have a question here, but a lot of people aren't really sure about, which I'm like a big fan of, to make sure that you don't injure yourself, that you have the correct posture, that's critical. And I think a lot of those machines help maybe more novice, people who are beginners, be in the proper position. That would be my only...
There is a place for them, especially if you do have injuries or something debilitating that you cannot do certain movements. Yes, that has a place. But as far as, I would say 90% of people out there, if you're pushing and you just want to be in a straight, keep your posture straight. You don't want to be super rounded, and we're talking about generalizing here, but just have general postural awareness. That's it.
Yeah.
And your body is the best vehicle to do this with. Just body weight. Now, if you start to add ropes and balls and things like that, that's only going to expand your adventure with this whole thing and keep you from getting bored.
I do want to get into one area, though, because obviously we know the statistics of what's going on with mental health in this country.
Yeah.
We know the anxiety levels have been up. Unfortunately,
Especially
suicide rates have been up. We're trying to defeat.
Well, veteran suicide rates have been up, and we're going to get more into that, but up 20%.
Right, but
since
even
the
kids'
pandemic.
suicide rates and mental health and anxiety. My son has anxiety, depression, all this. When I was going to school, we had gym, 4 periods. We had gym an hour. We had to go out there and do running. We had that was the best. We had to go out and do all this stuff. They don't have gym anymore. Maybe 1 period I think my son has in school.
Yeah.
What is going? So
and why
as a family guy would say, you know what really grinds my gears? That. What are we doing? Okay?
So what's going on with the mental health of this country? Is that a factor?
So check this out, guys. This is what we need to do with school, and this is where I told you the presidential fitness thing, that was cool. But let's look at life in general. You need to be healthy to carry on whatever. If you're an accountant, and not everybody turns out to be an athlete, but if you're an accountant, a nurse, a doctor, a show host, anything, you need to have your health. We're not teaching people how to live their best life on their own through school, through adulthood, everything. That is a necessity. Okay, learning music. If somebody's interested in music, they're gonna go buy a guitar, strum of the thing. I would say you get rid of that because that's more of a thing that's a special
I don't
interest.
think it, with all due respect.
You need to get
because I was involved with the arts. I think both are equally important
cool,
for very different reasons. I don't think it's a competition.
But let's keep the health.
But I believe health is critical when we're sitting there, and diabetes before. Let's just go pre-pandemic, right? Before this, you had more kids being diagnosed with diabetes, and a lot of that has to do with diet, and we're going to get into that coming up after the break. But focusing now more on, the exercises here.
74% of overweight and 42%, going to 44% of obesity in this country. We need to have education about how to take care of yourself. This is a life thing that you're going to carry with you the rest of your life if you want to be successful wherever you go and whatever you choose to do, the arts, anything.
So why are you again, we talked a little bit about your background, that you had ADHD, that you went off the medicine, that you've been supplementing this with exercise, but why are you on this very passionate mission? And we're having fun here, but in all seriousness, you're very passionate about what you're doing, and this is why we're having you on the program. And what made you want to make America fit again?
This is the goal right here, guys, and I'm passionate about it because I really feel like there's a problem, and I've seen it firsthand in my own family, from a brother, a veteran who took his own life, to a father who 2 years ago had triple bypass, open heart surgery, to a mother who had a stroke from being unhealthy and everything like that. And I love them to death, but back then it was like, well, everybody was smoking back then. Nobody knew these things were gonna come back and bite him. Now he's got diabetes too. So I look at my family as a compartmentalized of America.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they're bad or anything, but that's America. But we need to re-educate. We need to re-educate that. We need to get people. Everybody says America's the greatest country. People pouring in here left and right. Then why are we the fattest? There's actually a list. If you Google fattest countries in the world, every one of them is a third world country that you've never heard of, And then there's the United States of America with 330 million people, and 44% of them, according to that, are obese. It's like, yeah, we're greatest, and now we're just living in it? No. We're about to be the most unhealthy country ever in existence.
And it's so much easier to prevent these ailments than it is to treat it afterwards. Because once you have heart disease, once you have diabetes, it's very hard to go the other way. And your family history sounds a lot like my own family history, which the vast majority
have my history too.
Heart disease, stroke, but a lot of that, a lot of people say, well, it's in my family. That's true. It's true, but most studies will show that's only a really, like a smidge
so a lot
of it.
People
You
say
have to take
that runs in my family. No, it's because nobody runs in your family. I like to say that.
Ooh,
I like that. That is good.
You don't inherit morbid obesity or anything like that. If you have a low thyroid, that's diagnosed. That is completely different. I don't mean to step on that, but this is a problem from inactivity, uneducated, bad habits.
Let me just get you into something.
This country makes it so easy to eat like crap. It's insane.
But what I want to ask you,
too convenient.
All right, getting started. How do you get somebody motivated to get started? I mean, people.
Look at your life. Look at your life. Look at your kids. Look at your wife. Look around your life. If you can't get your out of bed, I'm sure we could say here, but you look at, say, you're my brother. I look at you and I'm like, I want to live my best life for you, and I know what my actions might reflect on you one day. Say you're my wife, and I go, you know what? Look at marriages. Like, it's people fall out of love. I see people getting fat when they get married. You hold the dad bod thing and everything, and all the women are like, well, you wait till you have kids. It's like, no, you can still get in great shape.
And you're setting a bad example.
Live it for other people. Live it for your loved ones. Yeah.
And you're setting a bad example too by that. By doing that, taking care of yourself. If you looked at yourself as the foundation, and keep yourself strong, you're also setting the example for your kids. It's not just do as I say, not as I do. But I want to go into that coming up. We're going to have to go to a break here, but I want to go about it because that sounds easier said than done. And maybe some of you are out there going, yeah, but you don't understand. I'm not fit. It's really hard.
You don't have to start. You don't have to be great to start.
Right.
But you have to start to be great.
That's it. We're going to talk more about that. We'll be right back. You're watching RealConvo.
You asked me to pump you up a little bit about your depressions. I'm very happy that you snapped out of it and that now you're pumping up other people that have depressions and encourage them and give them positive reinforcement. I love that. Hasta la vista.
And welcome back to RealConvo. I'm Miranda Khan again. Here with me is Alan Mednick, my co-host. I want to hear your.
How could you not love Arnold Schwarzenegger?
I wanted you to do the accent.
Yeah, right. I can't do it. He'll do it.
Yes.
But
down. Put the cookie down.
There you have it.
Fitness guru. I was like, wee big.
It's great. It's like perfect. Like, spot on.
We had those alpha males back in the day, man, that we could chase after, the muscles and everything.
I just thought that was incredible that Arnold did that. That was actually a fan of his that was depressed, couldn't get to exercise, and actually sent him a message saying, what can I do to get out of bed? I really need to exercise, motivate me. Obviously, the guy got up, he started exercising, and then he started telling his friends how to get, and that was what Arnold, the message he sent.
And that's what we were trying to do when we were doing our whole coronavirus challenge, just reminding people how important it is. That's something that you are trying to do with Americans everywhere. So right before the break, Andy, we were sitting there talking about just how small little increments, because I know there are people that just get overwhelmed. They have a tendency to overdo it, especially around the New Year's. They haven't really worked out, and they're like, "I'm going to do it."
New Year's resolution.
And and then they're like, but if you're not used to doing it, I'm kind of against this whole philosophy. And you tell me what you think, because you have degrees in this. But I think you're almost setting yourself up to fail when you're like, "I'm going to go to the gym, 2 hours a day," and you haven't been in like years. I think it's better to just kind of do a little bit every day. Like I said, when I started, it was like, I'm new at this. I'm just going to do 15 minutes. 15 minutes a day, and then I built it up. 20 minutes, 25, then 30.
And you don't want to start.
And then I was hooked. And then I stayed with it.
Right, and even like if you are using weights, you don't want to go to 200 pounds right away.
Absolutely. So guys, look at it like this. It's crawl, walk, run, right? And look at your body as a blank canvas of art, right? Does an artist look at that and go, the Mona Lisa, like, oh my God, it's a blank sheet. Like, oh my God, I get it to Mona Lisa by January. It's like, no. take your time. I've never been in the gym for 2 hours, unless we're like shooting or something like that. But a 2-hour workout?
That seems so
Challenges,
long to me.
yeah, but no, 2 hours, you need more stuff going on in your life.
You know what? I want to get a little into the nutrition. We're going to talk about his degrees because I think that's important. But you know, there's a lot of these products out there. You see it on TV. I'm not going to mention their names, but it's like, hey, you know, we're on this. It's a third. You know, you could live your life by eating this. And what do you think about? I don't want to mention the names. That's why I'm trying to go around it.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm
got
talking
you.
about.
We got you. We're following you.
You know what I'm talking about. But what do you think about those?
Keep it simple, guys. And like I said before, some of my best workouts have been 10, 20, 30 minutes.
But
so
I'm talking
even an
about
hour.
I'm talking
and
about
now
nutrition.
The nutrition, keep it simple as well.
Yeah.
All these things you see, they all have the same thing in common, but they're just labeled differently. Eat less. A caloric deficit is the Atkins, the South Beach, the whatever's out there is you're eating less. That's what it comes down to.
Okay.
It doesn't matter if you're like, well, this one's high fats, this one's low carbs. It doesn't matter. It comes down to your body's got a gas tank, right? And if you want to lose weight, then stop getting off at every exit and filling it back up, okay? Say you got a full tank, your gut, right?
Right.
You've got to get that thing down to a quarter tank to start seeing your abdominals, okay? If you're filling it up, putting fuel in it, carbs, big fats, everything like that, you're going to keep that there, all right?
Yeah.
Check it out. Leans and greens, okay? Lean meats, vegetables all day long. You've had enough carbohydrates. Look at where it's gotten you. You don't need any more carbs. Actually, scientifically, your body makes its own carbohydrates through a process called gluconeogenesis. Gluconeogenesis, all right? We can look that up. Your body will make its own energy based on everything it's got in here. So get rid of this. Stop putting fuel in it.
Yeah, I think
Sorry,
it's
I get a little fired up.
that's
on
okay.
that.
No, I
But
love
also
it.
the nutrition affects how your brain functions
Of course.
too.
Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about this earlier. Like, if everybody has that craving, right? Like, mine is, I don't crave sweets as much as like
I don't
nachos,
either.
burgers, wings, right?
See?
That's me.
That's me. Salty.
And you'll see me out. If you see me out in public, I'll be having a beer, nachos, burger, everything like that. I keep my house as a sanctuary. But we talked about that decision you just made to go in there. If you're trying to lose weight and eat that bag of chips, it was like dopamine just went in your brain. Oh, that felt so good. An hour later, oh, why did I eat that? You have to regret your body. It's not good fuel and all that. You're a mess. You just put crap in your body. Now you feel like crap. It's a direct relationship. So you have to look for the prolonged high, which is the serotonin, saying, if I eat this chicken salad right now with whatever hot sauce and everything, I want to make it good. In a week from now, I'm going to see a little bit more, and a little bit more. So it's the delayed gratification, not the instant.
Yeah. No, I think it's so interesting because as I told you, I did an amateur figure competition years ago, and I feel bad because I learned so much from that one competition, how much of a key role that food plays. And you mentioned the whole gas tank thing.
Yeah.
And I always thought that people care more about what they put in their gas tank than they do what they put in their body, not realizing if you don't have the right food in there that your body is not going to perform the way that you want it to. And you talked about eating. I learned that I wasn't eating enough.
Sure.
And eating enough of the right things. You mentioned carbohydrates, but vegetables are also carbohydrates.
Yeah, and there's no
Fruits
starvation.
are also, but that's stuff that your body can process.
Yeah, and it's no starvation, guys. I want you to eat lots. I want you to be happy. But guess what? Your stomach's a very simple organ. I used to say, Dom, it's simple. Okay? Stretched out, it's happy. You're like, Thanksgiving, right? In here in a knot, you're like hangry. Or like, I need a break, right? So nobody ever got fat eating lean meats and vegetables. Fill up with that. Drink tons of water. Get your belly to that point where like, I'm good, I'm full. You don't have to put the crap in your system.
And
put
your
the good things in
mind,
your system.
you think so much better. Again, going back to the mental health of that.
Yeah.
But and I mentioned it before. I was telling you that I've been staying away from bread.
Sure.
And then the other day I had a
gotta hit
hamburger.
something too, yeah.
I had a hamburger.
Why'd you stay away from bread?
Well, I stayed away from it because I was trying to lose weight.
Because it's got a lot of
he
sugar
already
in
has
it.
a gas tank.
I
Don't put any more gas in the gas tank.
That's why I'm buttoning
And
this
people
up now.
laugh at me all the time because I rarely eat bread, but once you get off of it, people don't realize
Yeah, but
that
I had a
how
hamburger the
addictive
other day
sugar
with
is.
the
It's
bread.
a ton of sugar.
And I just felt like crap right after it. I mean, I was drained. I couldn't think clearly.
It's awful, and you're putting crap in your body, so you get the mental fog.
But what is that doing though? What is that? What did the brain do? What did the bread
Sugar
do
is
to my
very
brain?
much related to cocaine. Did you see the study?
It's more addictive.
It's more addictive. Sugar's the worst.
Thank
Guys,
you.
If you think you're gonna have any sugar and lose weight, I'm just gonna say good luck.
Now, what about
Good
natural
luck.
sugars versus
Frozen fruit in a smoothie. That's all you get if you're trying to lose weight.
right?
Frozen
What is
fruit
it?
in a smoothie.
Complex versus simple?
I don't even want to get into that. If you're trying to lose weight, don't do it.
Yeah.
I'm a cold turkey kind of guy. Like, if I've got weight to lose, okay, I want to put only in the things in my system that are going to repair the muscle from the workouts and keep me full. And my body's going to make its own carbohydrates. We covered that. Okay?
Right.
But once you get lean and you're trained for performance, things like that, then yes, carbs and things like that. But the whole food guide pyramid.
What do you think
remember
about
that?
supplementals?
Breads and
Vitamins.
supplementals.
Yeah.
I take a protein shake that's got a full multivitamin, multimineral in it. Why? Because I can't sit down and have lobster, eggs, chicken, steak, fish all in the same meal. And guess what a protein shake is? It's a complete amino acid profile of all the natural proteins. So that's why it's convenient. It's a meal replacement.
You mentioned something that I think is okay. We talked about working out being addictive, but again, I've said this to people and they're like, "What?" I'm like, "Yes, sugar is more addictive than cocaine, and it's not just in sweets. It's like used as an additive in all sorts of things we eat, bread." And so, not that I'm here to make anybody feel guilty, but that's going to mess up your mind. I mean, I've had people when they go off like processed foods, they've asked me, "No, I don't feel so good." I'm like, "Because you're addicted to sugar."
Guys, there's so much crap in the stuff we're eating today, and you don't know where it is or where it lies, so the best thing is to eat clean. Buy your meats, buy your vegetables, wash them, prepare them. Like I said, I've been eating the same stuff for, since college,
What do you
15,
eat?
16 years.
Tell us what you eat.
I eat, you don't want to hear it? I want to tell people, chicken and broccoli. What does that mean? Lean meats and vegetables.
Yeah.
Great. I'll eat that same salad 3-4 times a day, plus a shake in the morning, shake at night, and that's it. But I've been doing this so long, and I get bored easily.
When did you start?
Right?
Did you start in high school, or when did you start?
I started 13 years old.
No, wait. I want to get it. You have degrees in this.
What I want to get at though, you're gonna love hot sauces. Once you do this for a while, you just throw more hot sauce on everything, and then it changes the game completely. I swear.
Kick it up a notch.
What is your degree in?
Kinesiology. So I went to school. I tried to play football in college. Was a walk-on at Bowling Green. Didn't work out. Played a little semi-pro. But once I got out of athletics, I was like, I just want to be more in it. But that wasn't going to take me into a career. So
I hope you were more than 120 pounds in college.
Oh man,
I want to see
like
pictures. I need
I was like
pictures.
205 in college. Yeah. And then so
wait, you went from 120 to 205?
120 to 190. And then by the time my freshman year in college, I was up to like 205. And
Wow.
now I sit at like 215, 220. So it shows you don't gain all this money. People that think you're just going to put on this muscle, it's a slow process. You got to earn it.
It takes a long time.
And don't
I think
do the
that's
unnatural
it.
route because she will not be happy later on in life, man. Don't want that happening.
I do want to ask you something about this body mass index.
Yeah.
What do you think about? Because like with me,
So here's what we learned.
I should be like 150 pounds.
So what we learned in college. So I went to school with kinesiology because I wanted to be around sports, athletes, strength and conditioning, and everything. Body mass index doesn't work for athletes. It shows that I'm obese.
Yeah.
Right.
It does. It doesn't work. So BMI, if you're not in shape, it is a good way to track. But the other great way to track is just get your body composition done.
Yeah.
And if you're over 25, 30, 40%.
You're talking about the body fat. You're talking about
fat.
getting your body fat
Yeah, you got a
measured.
serious problem. I like people to maintain under 25. Like 15 to 25 is great. If you're competing, obviously we know we have to do some very unhealthy things to get down there. I'm saying if you guys do a show.
But you're not doing that permanently, right?
But
Yeah,
that's
so
like,
25%.
That's the extreme.
For women, you're talking about 25%, right?
Yeah.
Not so much for
women,
men.
Yeah, for guys like, well, I'm 10 and you're 15, it's like women naturally have a 5 to 8% more.
Yeah, and
Just
you need
naturally,
that for your reproductive
You need everything,
system
yeah.
and all that.
Stay
Okay.
healthy.
Stay
You don't
healthy.
want to sacrifice that.
Now-
When we talk about guys and girls, you see it all the time.
Yeah,
And
you
he has
do.
the energy to last the whole show, too.
He does. I am not worried. We're going to have to go to commercial break. We still have much more to talk. You are watching RealConvo. I've completely lost track.
It's a real convo.
It's a real combo, and we're going to have much more to say coming up after the break. And welcome back to RealConvo. We are pretty much pumped up, right? And
Absolutely.
energized. We've been talking about fitness and the impact that it has, not just like being physically fit, but also how it keeps you mentally fit. And we've also been discussing how a lot of you have been struggling because of the pandemic. Maybe you were struggling before with depression, anxiety, PTS, and other thing, especially when it comes to veteran suicides, which is already the leading cause of death for veterans, and now that's up 20%. But hopefully we're going to change these numbers with our guests, because I know this is something that being physically fit is something that's very, passionate for you. But you also lost a brother.
Yeah. My brother served in the Marines. He did 4 tours, Afghanistan and Iraq, 2005 to 2007, I believe. And he was my hero, completely, still is.
Yeah.
Like, he was the man. And He came back and it was not the same. And it was immediate. We knew something was up, but we didn't know the signs then, things like that. Ended up taking his own life. And one of the biggest things was PTS. And he came back, he got out of the Marines, he was a civilian again, and he had no direction. He had no path. There was no reintegration process. Like, think about boot camp. All these weeks and all this training to make you a United States Marine or any branch service member. And then you get back and it's like, all right, well, here's a couple days. Well, here's what you should do, and here's some applications. Like, there's no offboarding process, or if there is one, it's not that great.
Did you see the signs right away from him?
Now that I know what they are, yeah.
What
separating from family, joining a different crowd that you weren't kind of like, he was hanging out in like different places with different types of people that he never would have before. He didn't have that camaraderie that you'd have in a circle of friends, a network, a group that he had in the military, and he's lost.
And a lot of people don't know the signs, which is why we're focusing on this show. You know, he lost his daughter. You know, Alan did, and his niece. I lost my sister to suicide. It's a lot more common than you think, which is why we continually bring this up. But it's especially common when it comes to veterans. So I'm sorry for your loss.
Yeah, and you do a lot of work
mentioned his
right
name,
now.
so it's an honor that he's still in our memories. Yeah. Still alive because we keep talking about him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
and we're going to keep bringing up those signs here on the show.
Absolutely. And you do a lot of work right now with veterans.
Tons. Yeah,
And you do
I
a lot of
work.
charities.
I work with Help Our Military Heroes, which they provide amputee accessible vehicles for veterans that come back missing multiple limbs. And I say multiple, they can't even take people with almost 2 missing limbs. They have to be 3 now because there's such a demand for what they do. Think about that. 3 missing limbs, and if like yours is below the knee and somebody's above the knee is going to get it. It's like, that stuff's out there, and you guys need to be aware of it. Like, these guys are seeing stuff out there that we can't even imagine. We see movies and we think it's like, no, they've seen some stuff that they're never ever going to forget. And so I work with Help Military Heroes. I work with the Naked Warrior Project here locally. That's they do a lot in Deerfield Beach and Boca Raton. And I try to place myself wherever I can, because we cannot do enough for these guys. We know nothing about what they've seen, been through everything. Just get out there.
And what are you doing when you're there? When you're with these veterans, what do you?
Fundraising, raising money. We do a lot of fitness challenges, and what's the thing? We're bringing it back.
That's
to fitness.
all I was wondering.
We're doing runs, we're doing rucks, we're doing these challenges, and guess what? It's bringing these people together. It's like, wow, like I haven't done this since I was in the military. And it's like people are getting geared back up again because they find that camaraderie and they build that effort again, and then it calms this down because now they've got that group they can exert themselves with.
Yeah. You know, there's this thing that the president has, or it's been around for a while, the presidential challenge, fitness challenge. Now, it's something interesting about this.
Well,
I hate it. I really get that look in his eyes, and he's looking at me, and I'm like, what?
It ties into the military.
Okay.
Because this was actually founded in 1953 by President Eisenhower.
Okay.
And I don't know if you know the reason. Well, you might know the reason, but the reason why this started was because there was several countries that started challenging their kids to see how fit they were. And we came in actually the worst, which surprised you.
Yeah.
So
and we're back.
But the funny thing is that President Eisenhower, the reason why that's when he started the Presidential Fitness Council, was because he was worried about us not being fit enough to be military. So the kids that were younger were next in line to be a military, and they weren't going to be fit enough to get into the military.
Sure.
So he started this council. You know a lot about that.
I know a lot about it. That was one of my very first goals I ever had, was to beat that girl and get that blue patch next to her.
What's her name?
And I did.
I totally hope she's watching right now.
Oh my gosh, I can't even remember now. Oh.
What? Come on, it's completely transformed your life. You don't remember her name?
Can't remember. Anyway, that was.
She knows, and I hope she's watching. And if you are.
And we got that patch, and that was awesome. And every year in gym class, we were inspiring everybody. Everybody was coming together. It was the best day in school. Was testing day.
What is the Presidential Council?
So it was a Presidential Council of Exercise. There was a pull-ups, a mile run, a flexibility test, crunches. It was just basic exercises, but it was like a standard. And you had to compete. You had to get a certain level to get the red one, a certain level to get the blue one. We wanted the blue one. We didn't want the red one anymore. Okay, but some people didn't even get the red one. Now it's non-existent. And I mean, the council still exists, but the programs aren't even out there. I just tuned into a webinar, and my man, Herschel Walker, love that guy. Herschel, I hope you see this. You spoke on there, you retweeted, you're out there. It's awesome.
And he's actually a co-chair right now.
Yeah, he's on a co-chair on there. We've got a lot of big names on there. However, there's no awareness that this council even exists. I even got on their Twitter, and nobody's retweeting. Nobody's on there. They have no Instagram. They have no Facebook. They have no. And how are you going to reach kids today if you're not on social media? I'm sorry, it's sad to say, I hate social media. I use it for work, but there is a big draw to that. We could really use that vehicle to send messages to adults, kids, and everything, and spread the physical awareness again.
So again, we're going back to Schwarzenegger now.
Yeah.
You could do another
Oh,
imitation of
Arnie up there with GHW all the time.
Yeah, and Miranda might not be old enough to remember this. But anyway, back in the 1991?
Sure.
Schwarzenegger came in. He was the chair
Yeah.
of it, and there was awareness throughout the country. Everybody saw his face. There were videos of him playing with kids, going around doing all this stuff.
Yeah.
And everybody wanted to work out back then.
That's it.
Everybody wanted to work out. Everybody was
Yeah.
good. I remember TV shows, and in the morning before I'd go to school, and this was back in the '80s. So before I go to school, how
He's always looking at me like, I don't know what
Don't
that
make fun of jazzercise. It motivated a lot of people.
but before, you know, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, you get up and there were these TV programs of people just working out.
That's it.
And you would work out with them.
Yeah.
So I would watch it, but you know.
Yeah.
But
You didn't work out?
not to that. But anyway, I used to run
The
back
girls
then.
were pretty cute on those shows.
Yeah, I'm
Still
sure they
watch.
were. But anyway, you don't see that anymore.
No.
What happened? What
So
changed?
Look at all this. We've taken away the focus on the physical. Okay, we're getting more obesity, more people overweight in our population. Anxiety is going up, depression's going up, suicide rates are going up. I don't know if it takes a genius to figure this out, but we took away this and now we're getting all this. Why don't we just focus more on being healthy and then everything else will take care of itself?
Yeah.
So,
That's what we're here to do.
and I keep reiterating this because this is, we do this show for you that are watching, and maybe you're going, there's no way I can be like this, there's no way I can do that. I can't stress enough, do not put those limitations on yourself. Baby steps. So can you just real quickly, because we only have a few minutes, but I want that person that's, I don't know, depressed, anxious to sit there. What's something that they can do just quickly, easily, to just get those endorphins,
I'm gonna hit
get
you with
that
this.
dopamine?
Guys, I wasn't always like this. I wasn't always so energetic, extrovert, everything like that. I wasn't this confident because I didn't have my craft. I didn't know what I was doing and didn't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
So we don't all start off like this, right? We never do. So if you're inconfident, you're an introvert, you're anything like that, I was right there with you until I learned everything and then kind of mastered this. So I started off doing like as many push-ups as I could, as many pull-ups as I could, going for a run as fast as I could, and then maybe it was just one sprint, and then I was like, okay, I'm tired now, go back home, play video games, right? But it starts off crawl, walk, and run. And you have to take a look at this, guys. If you're gonna sit there and pout and say, play the victim and say I can't do it because, you can't do it because you're just not doing it. Get up off the couch, go for a lap, just one lap. Start off 5 minutes, then 10, then 20. 30, 45 minutes is all you really need. Some people spend hours. I don't even do that. We don't have enough time today. Everybody keeps saying that. So make use. Give me the hardest or the best 10 minutes you can. And I guarantee you, after you've done that for like a week or so, you're going to be wanting 20 minutes. You're going to be wanting 30 minutes. Then you're going to come in like, dude, I'm hitting an hour. You told me not to hit an hour. And I'm like, that's awesome. Let's go. But just get up and remember the simple things. Sitting up out of a chair is an exercise for some people. Going up the stairs is exercise for some people. Get out of breath till it's like, okay, you can't hold a conversation, you're starting to breathe. Okay, let that heart rate come back down, do it again. You don't have to go blazing saddles,
Well, yeah,
right?
it's like I tell you don't decide one day you're just gonna
blazing and
exactly.
all like that.
You're not like no one says, hey, I think I'm gonna run a marathon, and then they just run a marathon tomorrow.
No.
It's you're trying for it.
What we want to do is make America fit again.
That's exactly what we
And
do.
every single one of you, I guarantee you, there's other people like you, and they're gonna see what you're doing.
Yep.
And at first they're gonna be like,
but you can do it.
And they're going to see you run again, and you're going to inspire those people to do this again. Then all of a sudden, your whole neighborhood is like, let's go. Where are you, Sally?
We're gonna
Let's move.
All right, we're going to end it
Speaking
so
of
we can
moving, we have to wrap it up.
run.
Andy Sziraki, thank you so
Now
much.
we're going to start working out, right?
Let's do it. More information on our website at real-convo.com. See you next time. Bye-bye.